What's up, everyone? How's it going? It's Stealth. First of all, let me thank GHamTK for yet again supporting my channel and hosting my video. This is really, really kind of him, and it's just really great for him to do this for me. So thank you. And today I'll be talking about something maybe a little bit controversial to you guys. We're talking about Marvel vs. DC. Now, I expect to get some heated comments down below on this subject. It's almost like talking about Coca-Cola versus Pepsi or ranch versus, I don't know, peanut butter. I love both of those. It's a weird comparison, but you know what I'm trying to say. This is a really, really heated subject. People are passionate about both Marvel and DC, and I'm just going to talk about my opinion on both of them. I'm not going to say which one's better because honestly, I don't know, and I'm not a professional at this, so I can't really say one's better than the other. So what I'll do is I'll just talk about my opinion of both of them, and then maybe you guys can discuss it down below, or just tell me what your opinion is, or which one you might think is better. So I'll start with DC since I was sort of introduced to DC when I was a little kid back in like the late 90s. I think I was introduced to DC before I got into Marvel. I was like a huge Batman geek when I was a little kid, and I had like the Batman pajamas and I had like the Batman toys, and oh my goodness, it was like every time Batman came on Cartoon Network, I had to turn on the TV and I just had to like, I don't know. I'd grab a towel and fold it behind my back, and I just run around and like act like I was Batman. And Robin was a little, I don't know. I didn't care for Robin. He was nobody. But Batman, oh my goodness, he was legit. And he had the Batmobile toys, and it was just raw. You know what I'm saying? So I was a huge Batman geek when I was a little kid, and Superman was okay. He was, I don't know. Superman, I never really got into the whole Superman can do everything, but I don't know. He was still a big deal when I was a kid because everybody still loved Superman. He was sort of like the rival of Batman. So there, if you liked one, you probably knew about the other or liked the other one. So Superman and Batman were the huge deal back when I was a kid, and they still are today. So I got into those two people really early on when I was a kid, and the Justice League too. I mean, not as much, but the Justice League was still there. I mean, I knew everything from like a few comics and mostly from TV and cartoons. So I didn't read too many comics when I was a kid, but I definitely got into the cartoons and stuff. So I really knew about DC early on when I was like 5 through like 10 years old. And it wasn't really until like when I was a teenager that I got into Marvel, because I didn't really know too much about Marvel until I was like, I don't know, maybe 13. And Marvel, oh my goodness, X-Men was probably the first thing that got me into Marvel comics. It was this X-Men, Wolverine, Gambit, freaking Nightcrawler. I'm not sure if it was the comics that got me first or the cartoons, because I know I remember watching a lot of the cartoons also on Cartoon Network, or maybe it was Toonami. I'm not sure, but X-Men was this legit, man. Oh my goodness. I mean, just the whole concept behind X-Men, and just mutants trying to gather around, get together, and just fight crime, just fight, just kick ass. You know what I'm saying? And it was just so cool. The stories behind each Marvel character, Wolverine's past, and it was just really, really cool. I like the whole idea of these people not being perfect in character, just these people having flaws, and just the whole idea that they're not perfect, but they have super, super badass powers. You know what I'm saying? So I really, really cared about each X-Men, and just the whole idea about um, people being able to be superheroes, but at the same time, they're still real. They still have flaws, and I just respected that whole idea. So when I was a teenager, which wasn't too long ago, I'm 21 right now, but back then, teenager years, I was really into Marvel. X-Men was the first. Now let's see. Captain America was cool. Hulk was cool. I liked Hulk, and the whole tragic flaw behind him. It was really cool with the powers he had, and still love those. And then of course Marvel vs. Capcom. Huge Marvel vs. Capcom fan, and I still play it to today. Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So that also got me into Marvel. Was it really too huge into DC in my teenage years? just because there wasn't much going on. I mean, not really anything too new going on in DC, whereas Marvel was always introducing something new, some type of new concept, rather it be like the Spider-Man movies or you know what I'm saying? There was always something fresh and new going on in the Marvel community. Whereas for DC, I mean, I'm not gonna say there wasn't anything there because I mean I'm not really an expert. I can't really say that there wasn't anything there just because I didn't really keep up with it much. But there wasn't enough for me to really notice what was going on with the whole DC community. But so I wasn't really into the whole DC thing when I was a teenager, but it was still present. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't present enough for it to overwhelm Marvel because I mean at that time, you know, you had Spider-Man 1 movie, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, all these Marvel movies coming out, Hulk movie, and this is all these new comics that if you haven't heard of or if you never got the chance to see them in cartoons or read the comics, you could be introduced to them in the movie theaters. So it was still a big deal back when I was a teenager. So Marvel was really on the attack in movie theaters and cartoons, and it was just really, really cool. Really, really sweet to see all these diverse characters and just, you know, really getting introduced to the Marvel community. Let me know what you guys think about the DC versus Marvel down below. And thanks again, and I'll see you guys later. Check out my channel. Peace.